Hi everyone, it's Erin from the Provincial Farmhouse. In today's video, I'm doing a French country Christmas bell. For today's project, I'm using this old liquor bottle that I found at the thrift store for about $8, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it would make a beautiful Christmas bell. My first step is to use some of Gorilla's super glue gel to glue the little cork down so that it stays in one place. I'm then going to give this 2 coats of Dixie Belle's Buttercream chalk mineral paint. Now I have already sprayed this with Rust-Oleum's Clear Matte Sealer so that it has something for the paint to grip onto. You could of course use any other type of bonding primer that you like for this step. I'm also going to use my hairdryer to speed up the drying process on the second coat to get a little bit of texture and some cracks. I'm then going to be using this ITD Christmas time rice paper. It comes in a pack of 11, and I'm just going to use some water to cut my image out. Now you can see a little lead pencil line there. That is because originally I was going to have this image on a frame in the bell, but I changed my mind. So now I am using an eraser to rub out that lead pencil image. I will also be going around the edges of the paper with that water as well to soften the edge. Once I'm finished softening the edges of the paper, I'm going to be using Paint Couture's Decoupage Medium in Matte. You can see I'm applying product to the surface of the bell. I'm then gently pressing the rice paper image into the product, and then I'm using my brush to smooth it down. I have a little bit of that Decoupage Medium on my brush, and I'm applying pressure and pressing the image down. Just take your time when you're doing this so that you don't accidentally rip your paper. Just a reminder that you can find a full product list in the description below, and most of these products on our website, theprovincialfarmhouse.com.au. Once I have the image down completely, I'll do another coat of the Decoupage Medium over the top as well. Next, I'm going to be using some air dry clay in IOD's Oh Christmas Tree mold. This was from their holiday release this year. You can see I'm working the clay into the mold and using my thumbs to push out the excess, and then I will flex the mold and carefully pull the castings out. I'm going to be making quite a few of these for our project today. There is a left and right design, and they are subtly different, so you really do get a unique piece each time, so detailed. Once I have those organized, I do actually tear off the corner part of that, and I'm applying some of my Sealy's Quickset wood glue, and I'm going to apply it to the bell, and then I'm actually curving it around so that it looks like a garland that's draped around the bell. And then you can see that I'm going to come in and add some of that excess that I tore off that corner piece, and I'm just layering that over the top. That's the beauty of working with air dry clay. And then I am taking my other piece that we cast, and I'm putting that on the right hand side in a very similar shape, and adding that excess from that particular garland over the top as well, just draping it down and framing that lovely image that we already put down. So you can see here I'm breaking off some more of that garland, and I'm going to start positioning it around the base of the bell. I'm then going to be putting the other garland on the other side, on the left-hand side, and it's going to take 4 pieces to actually wrap that garland around the whole base of the bell. And then I'm just taking some of the excess that we tore off the garland, and I'm almost mirroring what we did up the top. I'm just having some of that foliage sort of directed upwards, again, to try and frame it. I'm then going to be casting the larger bell from this little mold. I'll link it below, and I'm going to be positioning it in the center up the top on our garlands there. I feel like the scale of that is absolutely perfect for our design, so I've just added some glue to the back of it, and then I'm pressing it down. And then I have these little castings. These are from the Boughs of Holly mold. I'm going to be positioning 2 of those down the bottom. I'm then going to be positioning some more of those garlands on the back, so I'm sort of mirroring what we did on the front, just draping that garland shape down, and then doing the same on the right hand side as well, so that each piece meets up with the ones that we added to the front. I'm also adding a bell to that back section as well. I'm now going in with some more of those garlands to finish adding that design to the base of the bell. So I am using these particular molds from IOD. They have quite a few designs. You could come in with the trimmings mold. If you don't have this one, you could come in with any design that you like to try and recreate this. It would just be dependent on what look you're going for. Next, I'm going to be casting some of these little baubles from this mold. I will link it below, and I'm going to be casting 2 of the smaller ones and 1 of these larger ones, and they're going to go on the left and right hand side. So I'm going to have them hanging down from the garlands that we added. So I'm just applying some of that same wood glue to attach them, and I'm just sort of staggering them out. And whatever I do on the left hand side, I will be repeating on the right hand side. If you don't have this mold but you want to add some little ornaments, you could always roll up some little balls of clay to simulate the look of ornaments instead. Once I have all of those little baubles attached, I'm going to cast a couple more of the medium-sized bells from this mold again, and I'm going to be adding that detail to the sides where the 2 front and back garlands meet. I feel like this finishes it off nicely, so I'm going to be putting one on each of the sides. Next, I have another smaller scroll design. I will link the mold that I used below. I have cast this in clay because I'm going to be layering it over the top of clay, and I'm just adding some of that wood glue, and then I'm going to position it up the top of our design that we have there, and I'm just molding it to what I already have very gently. I had this other little scroll piece in my stash. I'm going to glue that on with Gorilla Super Glue. This has been cast in resin. It's from the same mold as the one that I just used. Again, it will be linked below. So the next day, this is how our bell is looking. All of our castings are completely dry. I'm now going to go over the top of the entire bell with Paint Couture's Satin Extreme Guard top coat. I want to seal all of this in so that when I come in and start layering colors, I can wipe back any errors that I might make. When that's dry, I'm going to be using Dixie Belle's Juniper Chalk Mineral Paint. I just have it on a small artist brush, and I'm going to be adding it to all of the garlands that we created and also the greenery that appears on the top of those little bells that we attached. And again, if I make a mistake, I can always wipe it back because we have that clear coat down, and I'm just going to continue until I have all of the garlands painted. Once the juniper is completely dry, I'm going to take some of my watered down chocolate chalk mineral paint mixture. I used this as a stain in another video, and I'm just going over the top of these little pine cones that we have at the front. I wanted a very light brown here. I don't want anything super dark. We're going for quite a neutral, snowy look here. So I'm just going over the top of them, and then I'm going to take a wet wipe and I'm going to dab off some of the excess, further softening the look. When that's dry, I'm going to go over the top of the garlands and the pine cones with some more of that clear coat again. When that's dry, I'm going to use Dixie Belle's Whitewash glaze, and I'm going to be working it into the details of our garlands. Because we have that clear coat down, I can then come in with a wet wipe and I can wipe back some of the excess. So I'm really going for a wintry, snowy look here, something that will tie in with the decoupage paper that we added to the center. So as I said, I'm going for more of a neutral wintry look here, but you could go in the other direction. You could come in with a dark antiquing glaze for this step, and you could make it look quite antique and weathered and worn. Or if you do want to do this step but you don't have this glaze, you could create a paint wash with a white chalk paint that you water down, or you could use a white wax. Next, I'm also adding that same glaze over the top of the greenery down the bottom and our little pine cones. Again, I don't want them to stand out too much. I want them to blend into the snowy scene that we're creating. Once the glaze has completely dried, I'm going to be using Paint Couture's Luxe Bronze Metallic. I'm going to go over the top of the little bells that we added and the bows, and I'm just being very careful here not to go too heavy because we do want a softer look here, and I will be going over the top of these shortly anyway. So I'm going to continue until I have painted all of the bells that we added. As you may have noticed if you've been watching me for a little while, I've been having so much fun with IOD's new Oh Christmas Tree mold. Let me know in the comments if you have used this mold yet. If you're looking for more Christmas craft ideas, make sure you check out my other videos. I have lots of festive project inspiration. Once that bronze paint has completely dried, I'm going to be using Dixie Belle's Gemstone Mousse in Diamond. This is a lovely silver tone. I have added a few drops of gloss clear coat to my mousse because it does tend to help with the drying time. It sets a lot quicker if you do this, and also it gives it a lovely glossy shine. So I'm adding that to the ornaments that we have hanging from the garlands, and I'm going to be doing that on the right side and also on the left side. Once I'm finished painting the ornaments, I'm also going to apply the same silver to the little scroll details that we added up the top above the garlands and also on the section that we added near the top lid. I also then decided to add some of the silver to the bows that were on the bells. I felt like this tied the design together a little bit more. Once my paint was completely dry, I took the brush that I used with the whitewash and I'm just going to run a little bit over the top of the bells. So I haven't put any extra product on. I just want to fade the bells a little bit, make them look a little bit more aged and tarnished, and then I'm using a wet wipe to wipe back some of the excess. So I'm going to be adding that to each of the little bronze bells. I also added a little bit of that bronze to our pine cones at the front, not too much, just a hint of that bronze. Next, I'm going to dip the end of my paintbrush into the bronze, and then I'm going to start dabbing it onto the garlands so that it looks like little bronze ornaments. I'm going to be adding this detail to all of our garlands up the top and down the bottom. I went with bronze here, but you could definitely do red for berries for this step if you liked. You could do gold, you could do silver. This is definitely something that you can customize. Next, I want to add a little bit of detail to the lid up the top, so I'm doing the same thing, dipping the end of my brush in that bronze and then dabbing it on the raised little details up the top. And I'm also then dragging my brush over the top so that the little dots sort of join together. And here's our finished Christmas bell. I love how this turned out. As soon as I saw that bottle in the thrift store, I had a vision for how I wanted it to go, and this turned out even better than I thought. Let me know what you think of today's project in the comments. If you enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that like button, comment, and share it out. If you haven't already, I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of our videos. You can find the products used today on our website, theprovincialfarmhouse.com.au. Thanks for watching.